It's the dictionary. 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 It's the dictionary.
Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the dictionary. My name is Spencer, and I'm your host, the host with the ghost. Ooh. Welcome to this show. Of course, I would love it if you could write a review on, well, Apple Podcasts, and I don't know what the story is, why they're not showing my new episodes. I feel like I need to figure out a way to get an episode out to Apple somehow. Maybe getting rid of one so I can replace it with another one, and just say, hey, sorry, Apple people, come over to other platforms that have all my episodes. But, you know, you can still write a review over there. You can do the similar stuff on the Spotify and other places. You can join the Patreon for only $1 a month, and that will get you very early episodes. Watch this on YouTube if you want to see some stuff. And buy some merchandise. There's a link in the show notes. Call the Google Voice number 917-727-5757. Leave me a voicemail. Tell me what you think about things, just life in general. How's your day going? I'd like to know those sorts of things. Email me, dictionarypod@gmail.com. Social media. Crap, I've been slacking this week on social media posts. At dictionarypod. My personal is at Speejampar, Spejampar. It's very easy. And I think that's kind of the big stuff. All right, let's talk about the first word. Ooh, it's the word genius. It's way down here at the bottom of the page, and then I'm going to flip it over so it's right here in the line. It's good. Okay, genius, Genius. Noun from 1513, number 1A. We have a number of definitions. 1A is an attendant spirit of a person or place. What context are we talking about? An attendant spirit of a person or place? The spirit who is attending to a person, attending to a place? Well, let's talk about 1B. Maybe this will give us a little bit more information. It is a person who influences another for good or bad. Ooh. Okay, so this definitely seems like the old way to use this, but it's not obsolete, so I guess we're still allowed to use it. A person who influences another for good or bad. I feel like I want to do a lookup. A lookup, you know, that's what they say. Let's do a lookup. Genius attendant? What is it gonna say? Genius originally refers to a Roman attendant spirit or guardian deity assigned to individuals at birth, representing their character and natural talents. I got a crappy genius. In modern contexts, it refers to highly skilled, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so yes, the original, the Roman, the classical meaning originates from the Latin gignere, which means to bring forth. I'm reading what the etymology has to say on the internet, not what's in the book, but we'll get there. But you can see, if you've listened to the recent episodes, it's all the same stuff. Romans believed a genius was a guiding divine spirit accompanying a person throughout life. Thank you, genius, for helping me out along my life. I'm not entirely sure what your talents and skills are, because I'm not sure what mine are. Still trying to figure that out. But you know, I will say I've been pretty lucky, so I guess you've done a pretty good job. Okay, Roman classical times. What else do we have? We have number 2, a strong leaning or inclination. The synonym is penchant. I think you can probably pronounce this a couple of ways. I feel like I've heard penchant, a kind of a Frenchy way to say it. It looks like penchant. So a strong leaning or inclination. If you have a thing, well, I guess I have a little bit of a genius towards performing, being in front of a camera, putting on a little thing. I'm sort of gradually mentally getting over some hurdles to be more comfortable with that. So my genius would be to talk in front of the camera and microphone. Is that how you would use that in a sentence? 3A. A peculiar, distinctive, or identifying character or spirit. We got spirits coming back. A peculiar spirit, distinctive spirit, identifying character spirit? No. I don't know how to use this in a context either. But I definitely have a peculiar genius spirit. 3B. The associations and traditions of a place. Man, I had no idea that the word genius had so many different definitions. The associations and traditions of a place. So if you go to another culture and they're like, these are our traditions, these are the things that we do. Maybe we do a prayer before a meal. Then the prayer would be the genius in that area, and you got to respect that stuff. 3C. A personification or embodiment, especially of a quality or condition. Okay, so if you have a certain quality of silliness, I like that one, then the personification of that would be the genius. How do you personify silliness? I don't know. I think I've done a pretty good job. I think this is a genius right here. I mean, hello. Okay. 3A, 3B, 3C. Another, more definitions in ways that I'm not entirely sure how this word is being used. It's new to me, but now we get into number 4 with 3 sub-definitions. Number 5 is the one with the sub-definition. Let's talk about 4 first. Let's not skip to 5. Let's do number 4. The synonyms are spirit and genie. And of course, in the previous episode, we had the word genie, genius. So I wonder, was this one of the plurals? Let me look back at genie. Blue genie? Where is it? Here we go. No. This wouldn't have been the plural. But I guess yes. And again, you look at some of these definitions that we just had. They're very similar to this idea. Spirit, genie, something spiritual, magical, the personification. Oh, maybe the genie is the personification of this magical, spiritual world or something like that. Okay, yes, did not know that genius could be used in these ways. But then we get into number 5. By the way, number 1 and number 4, so 1A, 1B, and 4, the plural would be genii, Genii. But number 5, the plural, would be geniuses, for whatever reason. So 5A is a single strongly marked capacity or aptitude, or you could say a strongly marked capacity or aptitude, as in had a genius for getting along with boys. That's a quote from Mary Ross. Some person was very good at getting along with boys, and I will let you think about why, because there could be a whole lot of different reasons why. As I think I mentioned in the gender episode, I guess I would have a genius for getting along with women, not girls. Maybe when I was a boy, girls, but I'm an adult now. Boys and men, not as much. I can get along with anybody. Maybe that's my genius. Maybe one of my geniuses would be a capacity just for getting along with anybody. I can be a bit of a chameleon in that way. I can connect with people, lots and lots of different types of people, which I very much enjoy. Don't get a chance to do that so much. But if we're using this one example, genius for getting along with boys, that's not quite me. Boys, thumbs down to boys. And yeah, I think about the movie Barbie and the patriarchy, and I think, yeah, I just don't like boys. Now we have 5B. This is extraordinary intellectual power, especially as manifested in creative activity. Ooh. So this a creative activity I don't necessarily think of as necessarily as creating art. Oh, my throat did a funny thing there. Typically we think of creative and art, but creative is more the idea of thinking outside of the box, thinking of different ways to do something. And so, typically I think when we think of somebody who can do that, they're also very, very smart. The connections in their brain are different from a lot of other people. There's a lot more going on up there, and I often don't feel like I have that, and then sometimes I feel like I do have that. Just brains work differently. Extraordinary intellectual power. Power. I got none of that. No power up here. 5C. A person endowed with transcendent mental superiority. Hoo-hoo! Especially a person with a very high IQ. And I know that there are issues with the IQ in general. Let's just look up what do people say are the problems with IQ? What are the problems with IQ? Somebody else will be able to put it better than I could. IQ tests are criticized for having significant cultural bias, measuring only a narrow range of cognitive skills and failing to account for factors like motivation, creativity, or emotional intelligence. They often penalize neurodivergent individuals, are susceptible to environmental factors like test anxiety, and have historically been used to label or discriminate against minority groups. Yes, those are all problems. So when somebody's talking about this high IQ thing, or low IQ for that matter, maybe don't put a whole lot of stock into that because, I don't know, it doesn't seem good. But, somebody with a transcendent mental superiority, what a way to word that. What a way to word that. I wish I had transcendent mental superiority so I could have so much intellectual power over all of you. But no, I have to read the book so I can learn things. Okie dokie. For synonym information, see the word gift. Ooh. What's a gift? Do you have a gift? If you have a gift for a thing, then that could be your genius. I think about this often. I don't feel like I have a gift. There are people out there who have this gift, this talent, this thing, some might say a God-given whatever. And I don't feel like I ever really had that. And sometimes I would get frustrated by that. And then I'm like, it's okay. Because then I think there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of... you want to strive to be the best when you have this thing in you that you're just so good at and want to do, and this passion, and I'm like, I don't have as much pressure on me because I don't know if I quite have that gift, that genius. Let's officially look at the etymology. This is a Latin word, genius. They would not have pronounced it that way. It means tutelary spirit or natural inclinations. And yes, it is from the Latin word gignere, which means to beget. So this thing was created inside of you. You were created with this thing. It has sprung forth from you, and maybe you are defined by it in some way. Genius, what a big word with lots of different thoughts and meanings and definitions. Okay. If you have an idea of what my genius is, please tell me, because I'm not sure. I don't know if I could put it into words, and maybe it's not words. Ooh, the sound effect is going to be... Yeah. Now we have genius loci, or loci. That word is L-O-C-I. Noun from 1605. Number 1, the pervading spirit of a place. Ooh, of a place. I believe loci or loci would be Latin for place, location. Location. See the connection there? Okay, great. The pervading spirit of a place. Some people can go to a place, a location, and feel an energy, feel a something. And I've never had that. So I have no idea what the genius loci would be of, or loci would be of any place. I go in and I say, now you are filled with my genius. Number 2, a tutelary deity of a place. I don't know tutelary. Do you know tutelary? Tutelary. Let's see. Tutelary. Larry. There's a Larry out there. Serving as a protector, guardian, or patron relating to protection or a guardian. Okay, there we go. So a tutelary something. That something is guarding the thing. Okay, so the deity guarding a place is the genius loci, and then just the spirit of the place in general, the spirit, the energy, the chi, that is also the genius loci. Now we have GENL, abbreviation for general. Next we have Genoker, GENNAKER. It's a noun from 1983. Genoker. It is a spinnaker sail having an asymmetrical shape. Well, maybe you heard a little bit of a connection between the word Genoker and the word spinnaker, because this word, Genoker, is a blend of Genoa and spinnaker. But what is Genoa? Would it be one of the sails? Let's look up, because I don't know. I mean, if you know me, then you know that I don't know. My boats, my sails, here we go. Yes, it is a sail. It's a large overlapping head sail on a sailboat that extends behind the mast, designed to increase speed in light to moderate winds. And then, of course, we can also look up a spinnaker. Where's the N? Criminy. I'm deleting things I don't want to delete. There we go. Spinnaker sail. Let's see. Come on, load. Large, lightweight, often brightly colored balloon-shaped sail used for sailing downwind to broad-reaching. Anyway, so this Genoker is just a combination of those two sails. You sailors. Oh, you sailors. Okay, let's move on to the prefix geno. It says go see the prefix gen, which was a handful of episodes ago. Next is Genoa. Genoa. So, hey, we could have just waited a minute or so to talk about this. From Genoker, Genoa, and spinnaker sail, and here's Genoa. It's a noun from 1932. It is a large jib that overlaps the mainsail and is used especially in racing. Those racing boats, what do they call that? It has a name when all the sailboats go do a race. I can't think of it. But this is from Genoa, Italy, so I guess the sail was maybe invented in that area, in that town, that city, and they just didn't know what else to call it. And they were like, it's made here? We'll call it a Genoa? Okay. Moving on to, here's the one that makes me go, genocide. Noun from 1944. It is the deliberate and systematic destruction of a racial, political, or cultural group. Genocidal is an adjective. Okay, so let's go back to the word or the prefix gen. That would have been way back over here. It means offspring or race, or also genus or kind. So and the side suffix is the murder of, right? So fratricide, the murder of the brother, etc. Suicide is murder of yourself. And so genocide is the murder of all of the things, all of the same type of thing, a race, a class, a kind, a culture. I am not the one to speak intelligently about this. All I can say is that it's an atrocity. It's it's one of the worst things that humans can be doing to other humans. There's no respect for the diversity of the human race. The fear of the unknown. I can't understand what's going on in somebody's mind or a whole group of people's minds when they want to do something like this. So I shall send you via link in the show notes to the genocide episode. And I believe I mentioned this recently. I don't remember what the context was. Ologies. They did a genocide episode not that long ago, and I believe they did an update even more not that long, or even less not that long ago. What would it be? More or less not that long ago? Go listen to that. It's a rough one, but necessary in these times. Now we have Genogram or Genogram. Noun from 1978. This is a diagram outlining the history of the behavior patterns of a family over several generations. Examples of the behavior patterns would be divorce, abortion, or suicide, and I'm sure there's other possibilities as well. But we have also a similar diagram detailing the medical history of a family in order to assess a family member's risk of developing disease. And we know that we're using the prefix gen or geno here because it's all about the people, the class, your offspring, or you are the offspring of the people, right? It's all about that, and it's a diagram of the people in your family. But yes, I wanted to see an example here. Whoa, what is this chart? This chart hurts my brain. What? I went to this website, How to Make a Genogram, featuring Ross Geller from Friends. Why would it be? Oh, this is a genogram example of Ross from Friends. Whoa, this is complicated. Okay, so yeah, this is so complicated. Okay, well, it's a little bit like a family tree, with a whole lot more going on. On the top left, we have Grandpa and Grandma. There's an X on Grandpa, so I guess that means he's dead. It says culturally Jewish. They had kids: Sylvia, Millie, Cheryl, and Marilyn. God, is all of this information in the show? Sylvia is a hated aunt. And who uses this? This is from a counseling page. So maybe, yeah, counseling therapy. So in between, okay, so there's another kid. It says 57. There's a blue and orange. I don't know what the blue and the orange is here. And this is Jack. And then under that in red, it says tone deaf dad, veteran, businessman, smoking, diabetes. So these are things about the person, the people, the emotions behind them, what they're doing, what they like, or what they are like. And then, okay, so that's a big part. Should I go through this whole thing? I don't know. This is ridiculous. Let's just do it quick. On the other side, we have the mom's side, Pop and Nana or Althea. Oh, is she the one who came back to life briefly? That was very funny. And so then they had kids, and one of their kids is Judy, who married Jack. And then, of course, the Jack and Judy had kids, and there's Ross and Monica, and there's descriptions of each of these people. Monica was a lost child / fat kid, professional chef, hardworking, type A, neat freak, mother hen. And then, there's a line between them, Ross and Monica. They're competitive. Oh, yes, very much. There's 2 green lines from Ross to his mom. It says favoritism, so she liked him the best. There's 2 green lines going to the dad, but there's no word there. Ross, it says golden child, the favorite, paleontologist, college professor, geeky, quirky. And I missed this before. There's a hot cousin Cassie under Marilyn. Got to watch out for hot cousin Cassie. And then Ross has relationships. There's a squiggly line to Emily because they were married, but then they got divorced. And there's a line to Rachel because they are friends and connected. And then there's Carol, which is Emily's partner, I guess. And then there's also Susan. I don't remember this. And then they were married for 4 years, and he was married to Emily for less than a year. And they had Ben. And then Ross and Rachel had Emma. And there's descriptions about Rachel, and then and then there's a big circle around Ross and Rachel and Chandler and Monica and also Joey and Phoebe. And then Chandler was there's descriptions about him, best friends. He was adopted, and his parents, Erica and Jack, is that correct? And there's a lightning bolt next to Chandler, and what's that? And he also has a blue and an orange box, and oh my God. Was that enjoyable for you? Was that as good for you as it was for me? That was fascinating. And it was created using a very fun example. So that's a genogram. Didn't know about that, and now I know, and you know, and maybe you should make one about your own family. I don't know what all the different lines and colors and icons mean. Now we have J. Is that a J? Genoise. I think it might be Genoise. It is spelled G-E noise. Genoise. You can put an accent on the first E. That's the acute one that goes whoop. So, Genoise is a noun from 1892. It is a sponge cake containing butter and leavened by stiffly beaten eggs. Not only do you have to beat the eggs, but you have to beat them until they are stiff. You got to have some stiffly beaten eggs to make a genoise. This is obviously French, from it's the feminine of genoise, but I don't know if they would have pronounced it that way. The masculine does not have an E at the end. And it means of Genoa, Italy. I just want to look up a picture of a genoise. It looks like a cake with some, it looks like maybe some strawberries or raspberries on top and maybe some whippy cream in the middle. It's a classic Italian and French sponge cake. Italy and France coming together to make a sponge cake. It's named after the city of Genoa. Okay, so was there anything else about that? Not a whole lot. It's just named. So you got a genoise, and then you also have a sail, and you can combine them somehow. Maybe you can put pictures of a genoise on a Genoa sail because it's like double Genoa, and then you can sail to Genoa. Moving on to genome. Noun from 1930. It is one haploid set of chromosomes with the genes they contain. Broadly, the genetic material of an organism. It's as compared to proteome, and I don't know what that is. It's just like, what's your genome? It's just all the chromosomes, all the genes, all the stuff that's making up who you are. I hope your genome has some genius in it. Let's see. Let's just move on to genomic or genomic, adjective from 1934, of or relating to a genome or to genomics or genomics, which is our next word. Genomics, this is a noun from 1987. So, one big definition. Strap in. It is a branch of biotechnology concerned with applying the techniques of genetics and molecular biology to the genetic mapping and DNA sequences of sets of genes or the complete genomes of selected organisms, with organizing the results in databases and with applications of the data, as in medicine or biology, compared to proteomics. Proteomics. Okay, yeah, it's all stuff in the gene world. That's all I'm going to tell you. I shall put a link in the show notes for Genomics in case you want to go read up more on that and learn some stuff. Next is genotype, or just genotype. It is a noun from 1897. Number 1, the synonym is type species. Type species, whatever that is exactly. Some sort of species. Number 2 is all or part of the genetic constitution of an individual or group. And it says compare to phenotype, which is spelled with a PH. Yeah, it's all gene stuff still. Can't say much about this. Genotypic or genotypic is an adjective, also genotypical. And genotypically is an adverb. Genotypically. Typically. That's my friend's name. Okay, moving on to... it's the suffix genus. Now what's... let's see, how would we pronounce this? Genus. Genus. Genous. Okay, so this is the whole suffix. It's a big one. It's an adjective suffix. Number 1, it means producing or yielding. The example is erogenous. Oh, well, of course, that makes me think of erogenous zones. Maybe if we bring a word back from a previous episode, a recent episode, maybe the genitalia in most people would be erogenous. So how exactly, what's this definition mean exactly? Producing or yielding. So if something is erogenous, then it is producing E-R-O. Well, of course I think of love, because I believe that that's the Greek or Roman word for that, but there's more to it. Let's see. Well, here's the word erogenous, producing sexual excitement or libidinal gratification when stimulated, sexually sensitive. But is there I wanted to see if there was an ero prefix, but there's not really. I mean, erotica, erotic, it's all related to that. But I guess there isn't a specific ERO prefix. Would there be one that's just ER that has to do with this sort of thing? I just wanted to come up with like just a definition for the first part of it. But I guess really it's just producing, yielding eroticness, I guess. Okay, so just trying to connect the definition producing, yielding to the word. But next we have number 2 is having such an origin. Having an origin, such an origin, and the such would be the first part, and the example is terrigenous, Terri, genus. And so that makes me think that something that is terrigenous is coming from the land, earth, dirt, just something like that. Terra, Terra, I think is all about earth and land and dirt and soil and those sorts of things. So yes, that is what I'm going to say. That's the example. Terrigenous is coming from that. So having such an origin. So if something came from space, would you say spacigenous? There's probably a different word for space. Maybe something from Mars would be marsigenous. We're just making up words now. Okay, now, let's get to our last word. It's a good one. It's the word genre. How do you pronounce this word? You can say genre. You can say just Jean with no r sound, Jean, or maybe not even much of an N sound, just Jean. You can also say genre, genre. You can also say John, genre with that hard G, not the hard, the more J sound, John, genre. But I think typically, because it's French, it's genre. So, this is a noun from 1770. Number 1, a category of artistic, musical, or literary composition characterized by a particular style, form, or content. Let's just get through them and then we'll chat about it. Let's have a little chat about genre. Number 2, the synonyms are kind and sort. What's that kind of thing? What's that sort of thing? What's the genre of this podcast, the dictionary? Nobody knows. We can't organize it into any of our categories. Number 3, painting that depicts scenes or events from everyday life, usually realistically. I don't think I've heard of this way to use this word. Let's look up genre painting. So it's just everyday life realistically. I have seen many examples of this in art museums, and that's typically often what you see. There's a lot that are not realistic, but yeah, it's just like, oh, was it like Monet painted the Gare du Nord, the train station in Paris, and it's just like, oh, it's pretty realistic. It's pretty good. He should keep it going with the painting stuff. A painting genre refers to a category of art. I'm reading the internet. Refers to a category of art defined by its subject matter. So it's not defined by the style of art, like impressionist or modern or surreal. It's defined by the subject matter. So it's like, we're just going to be very realistic about this because it's all about the subject. With the most recognized being genre painting, which is depicting everyday life. Broader artistic categories or genres traditionally include history painting, portraiture, genre painting, landscape, and still life. Ranked by importance, with history painting considered the highest. Genre painting specifically focuses on ordinary people in common activities, offering realistic or romanticized glimpses into daily existence, contrasting with grand historical or mythological scenes. Fantastic. But let's talk about genre in general, because I obviously, if you know me, am more of a movie fan than most anything else. I typically think of movie genres in terms of movies, but of course, as we know, it's music genres, literary genres. There's probably other kinds, and I just looked up a list of genres. Well, now this list starts off with literary, but if we scroll, woo, there's a lot. If we scroll all the way, is it going to get to? Oh, here, film and television genres. This is what I would like to talk about. Wow. This is going to be a long list. So, yeah, they really have it divided up into literary and film. Let's just read them, I guess. I'll try to do it quickly. First, it starts off with scripted. But then we get into things. Yeah, there's a lot of different kinds of scripted, and then here we have others. Let's just read them. Action and adventure. Animation. Animation, though, I have a little bit of an issue calling this a genre, because animation can be for kids, for adults, everywhere in between, and obviously it can take on all the different genres like drama, comedy, action, horror, etc. So animation is a weird one to me. Comedy, devotional, that's an Indian film genre. Drama, historical, horror, science fiction. And then there's these lists of all the sub-genres. Holy crap, you can get so granular with these. Western. Oh, and then we get into unscripted. This is by different things. There's amateur, children's series, documentary, educational, factual television. Oh, the list goes on. So, I don't know if we can do all of this, but the subgenres, I think, is where things really start to get fun. Like, I landed on comedy here, and we've got action comedy, bromantic comedy, black comedy, comedy drama, aka dramedy, comedy horror, comedy thriller, commedia d'italiana, or commedia all'italiana, gross out, mafia comedy, mole tao. What is this? Slapstick humor associated with Hong Kong popular culture. Mockumentary, parody and spoof, romantic comedy, rom-com. Satire, screwball comedy, silent comedy, sitcom. That's a situational comedy. Sketch comedy, slapstick, surreal humor. And of course, then, I'm not going to read all these, but then we got horror. And there's a lot of subgenres with horror. Okay, all right. So genre is just this fascinating thing, and some people have very strong opinions about what genres they like and which ones they don't like. I am less picky about those sorts of things because I'm just fascinated by the art of film, and I want to see all the different types of stories that are out there from all different types of people, creators, and so it's fun. And genre is just used in different ways, and I am not necessarily the smartest person to talk about it, but it's fun. Of course, I have memories of going to the movie stores when those really existed, and you walk around and the whole thing is just divided up by genre, because you're like, maybe I'm in the mood for a sci-fi movie tonight. Let's go to the sci-fi section. Where is it? Oh, yes, I see it over there. I see the little sign. Let's go to the sci-fi section. And then you're looking and lots of sci-fi movies. And of course, there's a lot of crossover. So the people who work there got to figure out, well, is this more sci-fi? Is this more horror? Where does it land? What's the most important aspect of this film? In our household, horror is a big one. We will watch anything, but there's something special, unique, different about the community of horror fans. I feel like it's different than all the other genres. The people who love horror are a whole other breed of person, and then just the creation of horror movies. It's the genre that's most likely to make its money back. You can make a very good, or at least enjoyable, very cheap horror movie, and people are gonna watch it, and they're gonna be into it because horror fans just love so much of so many different kinds of horror stuff, and it's a thing. It's a real thing, and I love it, and I love the people. And the movies can get bonkers crazy and often have some sort of statement about life, politics, social commentary, whatever it is. There's often something. So yeah, horror is much more layered than I think people like to give it credit for. So maybe go watch some horror stuff. Genre. There's a lot to say about genre. I can't wait. I don't have the time. I'm already talking for too much today, so we got to pick a word of the episode. This is going to be hard. We had genius, genius loci, gentle, that's general, it's the word genocer, genoa, genocide, genogram, genoise, genome, genomic, genomics, genotype, genus, that's the suffix, and genre. Okay, well, obviously there was a lot about the word genius. That's an interesting one. I'm feeling like maybe I should probably pick genre as the word of the episode, because it's just such a big part, I think, of our culture, and especially for me watching a lot of movies. It's always like, ooh, what genre is it? What do you like? They did a good job making that genre film. Okay. There's so many genres in movies. We got horrors, comedies, and spoofies. That's fine. Let's just end it there. Great. I wanted something to rhyme with movies, and the first thing I thought of was spoof comedies. Spoofies. I love going to see the spoofy movies. Yeah, those spoofies, they're great. Okay, it's time now for movies. This is another Hong Kong movie that I saw on a plane. I try to, when I'm on the plane, the thing is that I've seen so many of the movies that are there, I always try and see something new. And luckily, on the planes, they have a lot of foreign movies that I've never heard of before. So I'll look through them and see if the story is interesting to me. And this one, I highly, highly recommend this one. I have seen some very good sort of indie or foreign movies on planes, and this is one of them. It is called The Way We Talk, and I am not going to try to pronounce the original title. It is about 3 deaf people who I guess they're maybe in their 20s or something, and they have different conditions of deafness. That's what the description says. So one person only signs and lip reads. One person on the other side of the spectrum has a cochlear implant. I think he got that when he was very young, and so he can hear some, but he also signs. The guy who only signs is really kind of against the cochlear implant stuff. And then there's this woman, they're friends, and then there's this woman who comes into their life, and she has a cochlear implant, but she's getting some backlash for that, and she doesn't know how to sign. And so there's these three ways of communication, specifically in the deaf world, and it is fascinating and funny and serious, and highly recommend. And deals with some important stuff that's in the deaf community that people are dealing with all the time that us hearing people don't ever think about. It's a big question. Do you get a cochlear implant? And clearly people have very strong opinions about that, one way or the other. So yeah, really interesting look at that world, and highly recommend it. The Way We Talk. Okay. So much to say. Why am I talking so much? I hope you are enjoying this. I hope you are sharing this with other people. And we got to end it there because I got some stuff to do. So we can't hang out here all day. We got stuff to do. Thank you so much for checking out this show. And until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye.